Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into this wild story, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my crazy workplace tales. Let's get started. I was just another day at the office, sipping my coffee, when my secretary, Lisa, pulled me aside with a worried look. She whispered that a coworker, Jake, was spreading rumors about me. I brushed it off, thinking it was just office gossip. Jake was known for his big mouth, but I didn't think he'd target me. I had bigger things to worry about, like hitting deadlines. Lisa insisted I take it seriously, but I laughed it off. Rumors. They'd fizzle out, right? I told her not to worry and got back to work. Little did I know, those whispers were the spark of a firestorm. By noon, I noticed odd glances from colleagues. My inbox had a few cryptic emails. Something was brewing, but I ignored it. I figured it was just a slow day. Oh, how wrong I was. The day ended with an uneasy feeling. I should have listened to Lisa. The next morning, the office vibe felt off. People avoided eye contact, and whispers followed me. Lisa gave me an "I told you so" look. I asked her what she'd heard, and she said Jake claimed I was slacking on a big project. Me? Slacking? I'd been pulling late nights for weeks. I confronted Jake in the break room, keeping it casual. He denied everything with a smirk. I didn't push, but his attitude bugged me. Back at my desk, I noticed my team's group chat was quieter. Were they buying into Jake's lies? I tried focusing on work, but my mind raced. Lisa mentioned hearing my name in a meeting I wasn't invited to. That stung. The rumors were spreading faster than I thought. I still believed I could ignore it. Bad move. By Wednesday, the rumors had mutated. Now, Jake was saying I'd botched a client deal. This wasn't just gossip, it was sabotage. I started noticing my work being double-checked by others. My boss, Karen, even asked me to clarify my project status. I explained everything, but her skeptical look shook me. Lisa warned me Jake was cozying up to management. He was painting me as incompetent. I felt my reputation slipping. I decided to confront him again, but he dodged me. My team started excluding me from key emails. The isolation was real. I couldn't believe how fast things spiraled. I still didn't act, hoping it'd blow over. My gut told me otherwise. Chaos was creeping closer. Thursday brought a bombshell. An email from Karen requested a formal review of my work. My stomach dropped. Jake's rumors had reached the higher-ups. Lisa overheard him bragging about exposing me. I was livid but kept my cool. I spent hours compiling proof of my contributions. My team's coldness grew. Some wouldn't even talk to me. I felt like an outsider in my own workplace. Lisa urged me to go to HR, but I hesitated. Would it make me look guilty? The whispers were now about my attitude problem. Jake was winning. I realized ignoring this was a mistake. The office was a pressure cooker. I had to act soon. Friday was when things hit a breaking point. A major project I'd led was suddenly reassigned. No explanation, just a curt email. I stormed into Karen's office, demanding answers. She admitted hearing concerns about my reliability. Jake's name came up. I laid out my evidence, but her trust in me was shaken. Back at my desk, I overheard Jake laughing with a colleague. He was enjoying this. Lisa told me he'd been planting doubts for weeks. My reputation was in tatters. I finally went to HR, filing a formal complaint. They promised to investigate, but it felt too late. The damage was done. I was furious with myself for ignoring Lisa's warning. The weekend gave me time to think, but I couldn't relax. I replayed every moment, wondering how I missed the signs. Jake's rumors had spread like wildfire, and I'd done nothing. I checked my work emails obsessively, dreading more bad news. Lisa texted me, saying she'd overheard Jake planning his next move. He was gunning for my role. I felt betrayed, not just by him but by colleagues who believed him. Monday loomed like a storm cloud. I knew I had to fight back. Ignoring this wasn't an option anymore. I started gathering allies, people who knew my work. The chaos was overwhelming, but I was done being passive. I needed a plan. Monday morning, I walked into a tense office. HR called me in for a meeting. They'd spoken to Jake, who played innocent. His charm was working. He'd convinced some I was the problem. I presented my evidence, emails, timestamps, project logs. HR seemed receptive, but I wasn't sure they'd act. Lisa tipped me off about a meeting Jake was leading. I crashed it, calmly correcting his facts about my work. The room went silent. Jake's face reddened, but he didn't push back. My colleagues started whispering again, this time about him. I felt a spark of hope. The tide was turning, but I wasn't in the clear yet. I had to stay sharp. By Tuesday, the office dynamic shifted slightly. A few teammates apologized for doubting me. Lisa said Jake's credibility was cracking. HR called me again, saying they were escalating my complaint. I felt validated but still on edge. Jake avoided me, but his smirk was gone. I heard he'd been warned about his behavior. Still, the damage lingered. Some still questioned my work. I doubled down, delivering flawless reports. My boss noticed, but her trust wasn't fully restored. The chaos had left scars. I realized this wasn't just about Jake, it was about protecting my career. I couldn't let my guard down. The fight wasn't over. Wednesday brought a surprise. A colleague, Sam, admitted he'd seen Jake twist my words in meetings. He offered to back me up with HR. Lisa and I strategized, compiling more evidence. I felt a sense of control returning. Jake's allies were quieter now, sensing his downfall. Karen pulled me aside, admitting she'd been too quick to judge. It wasn't an apology, but it was progress. I kept working hard, refusing to let the rumors define me. HR scheduled a mediation session for Friday. I prepared meticulously, knowing Jake would try to spin things. The office was still tense, but I felt stronger. I was reclaiming my narrative. Chaos was losing its grip. Thursday was quieter, but the tension was palpable. Jake was subdued, avoiding attention. I heard whispers he might be facing discipline. My team started including me in emails again. Lisa kept me grounded, reminding me to stay focused. I spent the day prepping for the mediation, rehearsing my points. I wanted to expose Jake without sounding petty. My reputation was slowly recovering, but I knew one wrong move could undo it. Colleagues were watching me closely. I felt the weight of their judgment but pushed through. The chaos had taught me resilience. I was ready for Friday. This wasn't over, but I was fighting back. Friday's mediation was intense. Jake sat across from me, avoiding eye contact. HR laid out the allegations, and I presented my case. I kept it factual, showing emails and project logs. Jake stumbled, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. His excuses didn't hold up. Sam spoke up, confirming Jake's lies. The HR rep took notes, promising a decision soon. I left feeling cautiously optimistic. Back at my desk, Lisa gave me a thumbs up. The office buzz was shifting. People were questioning Jake now. My team invited me to lunch, a small win. But I knew the rumors had left a mark. I had to keep proving myself. The chaos wasn't fully gone. The next week, HR called me in. Jake was getting a formal warning. It wasn't enough, but it was something. He'd been told to stop spreading rumors. I noticed him keeping a low profile. My boss started assigning me bigger projects again. Colleagues were warmer, but some still seemed skeptical. Lisa said Jake was bitter, plotting his next move. I wasn't surprised. He wasn't the type to back down. I kept my guard up, documenting everything. The office felt less hostile, but the scars remained. I focused on my work, determined to rebuild trust. The chaos had subsided, but I wasn't naive. I had to stay vigilant. By midweek, things felt almost normal. My team relied on me again, and Karen praised my latest report. Jake was barely around, taking personal days. Lisa heard he was job hunting. Good riddance, I thought. But the rumors had done damage. Some clients still asked about my reliability. I worked overtime to prove them wrong. My confidence was returning, but I felt changed. The chaos had shown me how fragile reputations are. I started mentoring a junior colleague, sharing what I'd learned. The office was stabilizing, but I knew trust was hard-won. I couldn't relax yet. Jake's shadow lingered. A month later, Jake resigned. Word was he'd been pushed out. The office buzzed with relief. Lisa and I celebrated quietly. She'd been my rock. My boss formally apologized, admitting she'd mishandled things. I appreciated it but stayed cautious. I was back on key projects, and clients were happy. The rumors were fading, but I'd never forget how fast things spiraled. I started speaking up more in meetings, owning my space. Colleagues respected me again, but I knew it was fragile. The chaos had been a wake-up call. I vowed to never ignore red flags again. The office felt lighter, but I was wiser. As weeks passed, I noticed a shift in myself. I was more assertive, less trusting. The chaos had hardened me. I kept close ties with Lisa and Sam, my allies. My work was stronger than ever, earning praise. But I still checked my back, expecting new rumors. Karen gave me a promotion, citing my resilience. It felt good, but I knew it wasn't just about work. I'd fought for my reputation. The office was peaceful, but I stayed proactive. I started a workplace ethics group, pushing for transparency. The chaos had left me stronger. I wasn't the same person. I was better. Looking back, I realized ignoring Lisa's warning was my biggest mistake. Jake's rumors could have ruined me. The chaos taught me to act fast and trust my instincts. I became the go-to person for advice at work. Colleagues admired how I'd handled things. Lisa got a well-deserved raise for her loyalty. The office culture improved, with more open communication. I felt proud but stayed humble. Reputations are fragile, and I'd learned that the hard way. I kept documenting my work, just in case. The chaos was gone, but its lessons stuck. I was ready for anything now. Months later, I heard Jake landed a new job. I hoped he'd learned his lesson, but I doubted it. My focus was on my career. I was leading bigger projects, mentoring more colleagues. The office felt like a team again. Lisa and I laughed about the drama over coffee. My confidence was unshakable now. The chaos had been a crucible, forging a stronger me. I thanked Lisa for her early warning, even if I'd ignored it. She just grinned, saying she knew I'd figure it out. I was grateful for her. The workplace was thriving. I'd turned chaos into growth. My story spread around the office, becoming a cautionary tale. New hires were warned about gossip. I was seen as a leader now, someone who'd faced fire and won. Karen relied on me for tough projects. I felt fulfilled but never complacent. The chaos had shown me how quickly things can turn. I kept my allies close and my work airtight. Lisa and I started a mentorship program, helping others navigate office politics. The workplace was stronger for it. I'd learned to listen to warnings. The chaos was a distant memory, but its impact shaped me. I was in control now. A year later, I was thriving. The rumors were forgotten, and I was a top performer. My team respected me, and clients trusted me. Lisa got promoted, and we celebrated together. I reflected on how far I'd come. Ignoring those early warnings had nearly cost me everything. The chaos had been brutal but transformative. I was more strategic, more resilient. I shared my story in a company newsletter, hoping to inspire others. The feedback was overwhelming. People related. The office was a better place now. I'd turned a crisis into a legacy. I was proud but stayed vigilant. Sometimes I think about Jake. His actions were malicious, but they made me stronger. I'd never let rumors slide again. My career was soaring, and I was mentoring others to avoid my mistakes. Lisa and I were closer than ever, bonded by the chaos. The office had a new transparency policy, partly my doing. I felt like I'd made a difference. The chaos had been a turning point. I was grateful for the lessons, even if they came the hard way. My reputation was ironclad now. I'd fought for it and won. The future looked bright. The office culture kept improving. I led workshops on workplace ethics, drawing from my experience. Colleagues opened up about their own struggles with gossip. It felt good to help. My boss trusted me with high-stakes projects. I was in my element, thriving under pressure. Lisa and I were planning a team-building event. The chaos had sparked real change. I never forgot how close I came to losing everything. That kept me grounded. My work was meticulous, my alliances strong. The rumors were a distant memory. I'd turned pain into purpose. The workplace was better for it. One day, a new hire asked me how I dealt with Jake's rumors. I shared my story, emphasizing listening to warnings. She thanked me, saying it helped her navigate a tricky situation. I realized my experience was a guide for others. The chaos had given me a platform. I was respected, not just for my work but for my resilience. Lisa joked I should write a book. Maybe one day, I thought. For now, I focused on leading by example. The office was a community now. I'd helped rebuild it. The chaos had been my crucible. Karen retired, and I was considered for her role. It was surreal, thinking how far I'd come. The rumors felt like another lifetime. I prepared for the interview, confident but humble. Lisa cheered me on, saying I'd earned it. My team backed me, too. The chaos had shown me who my true allies were. I was ready for leadership, shaped by adversity. The office was thriving, and I'd had a hand in that. I never ignored warnings now. Jake's sabotage had backfired spectacularly. I was stronger for it. The future was mine to shape. I got the promotion. The announcement was met with applause. Lisa threw me a small party, and we laughed about the past. I reflected on how ignoring her warning had nearly derailed me. Now, I was leading the team I'd fought to stay on. The chaos had been a brutal teacher. I implemented new policies to prevent gossip. My team trusted me, and I trusted them. The office was a place of growth now. I'd turned a crisis into opportunity. Jake was a footnote in my story. I was writing the next chapter. Resilience was my legacy. A year into my new role, I looked back on the chaos. It felt like a distant storm. My leadership style was shaped by it. Transparent, fair, proactive. I mentored others, sharing my lessons. Lisa was thriving in her new role, too. We'd both grown through the ordeal. The office was a model for other branches now. I was proud but never complacent. Rumors could spark anywhere, anytime. I stayed vigilant, keeping communication open. The chaos had made me a better leader. I'd turned adversity into strength. My team was unstoppable. One day, I got an email from Jake. He apologized, admitting he'd been wrong. I was stunned but skeptical. I replied politely, keeping it professional. Lisa thought he was fishing for a favor. Maybe she was right. I didn't dwell on it. My focus was forward. The chaos had taught me to let go of grudges. My career was soaring, and I was mentoring others to avoid my mistakes. The office was a place of trust now. I'd rebuilt it from the ground up. The rumors were gone, but their lessons stayed. I was a leader forged in fire. My story became a company legend. New hires heard it as a warning about gossip. I was fine with that. It kept the culture honest. I led with empathy, knowing how fast trust could crumble. Lisa and I were planning a company-wide ethics seminar. The chaos had sparked lasting change. My team was tight-knit, and I trusted them completely. I never ignored warnings now, no matter how small. Jake's actions had nearly broken me, but they'd made me stronger. I was proud of my journey. The office was my home. I'd earned my place. 2 years after the chaos, I was invited to speak at a corporate conference. I shared my story, focusing on resilience and trust. The audience connected, sharing their own tales of workplace drama. I realized my experience was universal. Lisa came with me, proud as ever. We'd been through a war together. My leadership had transformed our office. I never forgot the chaos. It kept me sharp. I mentored others to face their own storms. The rumors were a distant echo now. I'd built a legacy of strength. The future was limitless. Back at the office, I kept pushing for transparency. My team thrived, and I was their biggest cheerleader. Lisa and I reflected on how far we'd come. The chaos had been a turning point for us both. I was grateful for her warning, even if I'd ignored it. My career was proof that adversity could be overcome. I never let my guard down, but I wasn't afraid anymore. The office was a place of growth and trust. I'd turned a crisis into a triumph. Jake's rumors were a faint memory. I was leading with purpose now. Looking back, the chaos was the best thing that happened to me. It forced me to grow, to fight, to lead. I was a better person for it. Lisa and I were closer than ever, bonded by the storm. My team was a family, built on trust. The office was a beacon of what workplaces could be. I never ignored warnings now. I listened, acted, thrived. Jake's rumors had been a spark, but I was the fire. I'd turned chaos into corporate justice. My story wasn't just mine anymore. It was a lesson for all. I was ready for whatever came next. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride. If you loved this story, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more workplace dramas and lessons. Drop a comment with your own office chaos stories. I'd love to hear them. See you next time.